There are 1 million prostitutes in Southeast Asia under the age of 15. And most of them are virtual slaves. The little girls are often either orphans or what I would call semi-orphans. The father, the males of the Aka tribe are very opium addicted. It's a heavy percentage of adult males in Aka's culture are opium addicted. Well, that devastates the economy. So they wind up selling their possessions, everything, and then finally the daughter looks like a source of revenue. Sometimes the brothel will actually buy the child. You know, $400. You buy a child, you make your entire investment back her first night. And I mean, you can buy a child for the price of a television set. Well, he told me all that, and I was just horrified. My American self-righteousness. I said, somebody ought to do something about this. And he took it for a little while. And then finally he looked up at me and pointed his finger in my chest, and he said something that changed my life. He said somebody ought to do something. He said, aren't you somebody? And you know, I didn't have an answer for it. I cried all the way back to the United States, told my wife about it, she cried. We cried for a month, we couldn't think what to do, and finally we just decided to go for it. We went back to Thailand, we found a flat, hired the wife of a Thai pastor as the first house mother. We took in just a handful of girls. It began to expand. We went to a larger place and we rented an abandoned church camp. And we renovated it. We went up to about 40 girls there, still hiring staff, trying to figure it all out, making mistakes as we went. I mean, I had no preparation for children's homes, orphanages. And then gradually it expanded. We bought property there. We have a beautiful, beautiful home, first rate. It's gorgeous, very modern, 13 buildings. We're about to build our 14th on 2 campuses. We have over 100 girls there. We're building a beautiful new multi-purpose building. It's got an indoor gym. Our little girls love to play basketball, of all crazy things. They're devoted to it, and they play a very passionate and lethal brand of basketball. And during the rainy season, of course, they can't play, so we're building them a little indoor gym where they can play. It's got a stage. They love to do all kinds of productions. They dance and sing in their tribal costumes, and they love to do those kind of productions. They put on skits and plays, so they'll have that. That building will start construction soon, and we're remodeling the campus. We hope to expand the number of girls. We have an older girls campus across the street now, and we want to start some training things. We want to give them more opportunity to train, and probably we'll, in the next few years, we'll start a second home. When they come to us, none of the girls are Christians. And after a little while, they're all Christians. The girls win each other to Christ. And we tell them, any school in Thailand that you can get into, we'll pay the tuition. We don't have a school, we have a home. And we bus the girls all over to the schools. We put 3 girls through law school. The first 3 Aka tribal women lawyers in Thailand are all 3 graduates of House of Grace. They come to House of Grace in a variety of ways. Sometimes the head man of the village will bring the child and say, look, this child is wandering the village, she doesn't have any parents, please take her in. We've even had the Thai government to bring some children to us, not many, but some. We found one little girl living in the vegetable market down in Thailand. We take her in. Sometimes it's an aunt who will bring her, or the mother. Most of the little girls we get are sexually abused already in the village. So we have inner healing work to be done almost immediately they arrive. We do all their medical care. Many of them have parasites or sickness. They have surgeries that are needed, eye care that's needed, dental care that's needed, food, clothing, home, education, tuition. We pay for all that, everything. And we begin to raise them up, renew their self-esteem. They become Christians. We give them a sense of their purpose in life, that they are valuable. That's something we have to convince them of. You're valuable and precious beyond the value that some brothel in Bangkok can put on you. Your life, your body, your destiny is important to God, and we bring that forward in their lives in a very, very powerful way. All of our female staff are graduates of the home. And the first little girl we took in now runs the whole thing. She was just a little village girl. She didn't even speak Thai. She just spoke her tribal language. Now she speaks 3 languages. She's got a bachelor's degree in accounting. You have to understand, this is a little girl, a barefoot girl in a village with no hope of anything besides grinding poverty or work in a bar or a brothel, who now has a life of dignity and leadership and prosperity and worth, a real significant life. She and her husband, their little boys, now run House of Grace. She has a staff that works for her, a degree. I mean, you can imagine, her whole life has been changed by House of Grace. For me, it's with deep humility and gratitude. When she got married, she said, look, I have no dad, I have no family. She said, I'm going to get married at House of Grace, and she asked me to give her away. So Allison and I went over to the wedding. We had the wedding there. A wealthy lady in California gave all the little girls new dresses for the wedding. And they sang in those dresses at the wedding. Later on, they played soccer in them and then slept in them. We couldn't get the dresses off of them. They loved them. So they sang as the choir, and they had the place decorated, and I walked her down the aisle. And, you know, I mean, it was just emotional beyond anything you can imagine to see this little barefoot girl up out of the village. First girl we took in. Now getting married in the House of Grace that she runs. All those little girls. And I thought about that first girl at that wedding. I thought about that first girl that night in that hotel. I didn't save that girl. I don't know what I could have done, but I didn't do anything. And I don't know where she is, if she's even alive, and I'm sure she's not by this time. But I didn't save her. And I can't keep 1 million prostitutes out of the hands of the devil. But I know 115 he isn't going to get.